control here, and I will maybe change presenter. No. Let's see.
There we go.
All right. Okay, let's see what my options here are. Let me know if you can see my screen, Rob.
Yes.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you everybody for attending today, and I love presenting for Synergy's customers. So again, I am Valerie Borak from Plumline Consulting, and Plumline, if you didn't know, is the premier provider for SL's support, development, and marketing. We also have what Rob said, we have a catalog of products. So there's over 100 products in there for Dynamics SL, and today I'm going to show you our top 12 products that you might not know about, but that we really feel the functionality enhances your Dynamics SL system. With that being said, I'm going to start with the products that we are going to review today are Audit Trail, powered by FastPath, Prepaid Processor, Quickfind, Credit Card Import, Voucher to Credit Card, GL and Period Mover, AR Collections, One-Time Vendor, Vendor Multi-Remit, Terrorist Check, and my favorite, Fixed Assets. So what I'm going to actually do for you right now is I want to start with Audit Trail powered by FastPath. And I want to do that because Audit Trail actually sits outside of Dynamics SL, unlike all the other products I'm going to show you today. And this is a product that we have partnered with the company called FastPath to provide to the SL community. So this product gives you the ability, Audit Trail, gives you the ability to track all the changes that are made within Dynamics SL. Now, what you're seeing is one of the two pieces of the module. So this is the actual reporting portion of Audit Trail, where you can see the different reports you've created and then choose the report and actually see the information. But something I like to point out is how easy Audit Trail is to actually choose your triggers. So this is actually where you go in and you have all of the SL tables listed on the left-hand side. And when you click on the SL table, you get to choose the different fields within the product or within that module that you want to track changes for. And you actually get to choose whether you want to track an inserted one, an updated one, or a deleted one. So what we say is, for your tracking purposes, you don't want to come in here and just say, give me everything. I want to track everything in vendor. I don't know necessarily exactly what I want to track, so I'm going to track everything. That's not really it isn't very helpful, because your reports will have so much data in them that it will be hard to review. You want to actually choose the fields that you really need to know tracking purposes. This is a really great tool coming into audit season. You can get ahead of the game. You know what your auditors has been asking for. You know the things they could potentially ask for. You come in here, you start tracking them now, and then you're able to provide electronic reports as to who changed what, when, and things of that nature. So once you change all of your information, it's as easy as checking the box and then hitting play. And what play will do, it'll generate the triggers for you, and it'll begin to give you the ability to start collecting that data. And then you go back into, this is where you would actually go when you want to actually see the reporting. Right now you're seeing my customer changes, and all of the report information loads in a grid-like format like you're seeing here. And from here you have the ability to export the data, and you can export in 8 different file formats if you'd like. You also have the ability to set up schedules to email specific reports to specific people. Now, another thing about Audit Trail that's great is that you can give people security to only see their specific reports. So they might not have the ability to see all the reports in the system. You can say, I just want my account managers to see specific reports, and I want so-and-so to only see the changes that happen in employees. I don't want them to see anything else. So you can change security and have it specific to a single role with a single report. There's a number of things you can create filters so that you can see only specific information. You can save those filters. It's a very powerful auditing tool. It can read any of your different SQL databases. So if auditing is something that you're looking into for next year, this is a wonderful tool, easy to use, easy to implement, and provides great data. So that is Audit Trail powered by FastPath. Now we're going to move into, let's close these other screens out so we don't have much going on in the background. Now we're going to move into the Plumline proven solutions that the other products that we have to show you today. All of these products that I'm about to show you fully integrate with Dynamics SL. They install within your SL system, okay? So they're going to sit on your SL menu. You can see fixed assets right now. It's listed right here on my menu, and it looks exactly like SL. All of the products have the same lookup functionalities, the same security functionalities, the same reporting features. So you really wouldn't know that you're using a third party. Now, I'm going to start with some of the smaller products because they're quick, easy to show, and I think they give a lot of wow factor for you. Prepaid Processor is one of my favorite products. It gives you the ability to stop tracking your prepaids on an Excel spreadsheet and entering those journal transactions every month by hand. If you are somebody who is doing that, you can purchase Prepaid Processor. You can set up your prepaids when they come in from the voucher and adjustment screen, and then go into a processing screen and process them once a month. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to go into my financials, and I'm going to go into accounts payable. Now, this functionality is available if you have Customization Manager. If you don't have Customization Manager, you would have to just go right into the Prepaid Processor screen to launch your prepaid. But say you're in here and you have this prepaid, or this voucher that you want to create a prepaid for, all with the Customization Manager, the prepaid button will insert and it'll populate your prepaid screen. Oops, sorry about that. Got a little too big for myself. Now, some of the information will come in, so your AP reference number will come in, the total amount will come in, the vendor information. Some of this information can pre-populate if you populate it from the voucher and adjustment screen. But you have the ability to choose the periods that you want to disperse this prepaid across. You have the choice of automatic or manually distributing it. And then once you see I clicked here, it went into this vendor and chose the account, sub-account, or the accounts that relate to that vendor for me. I can go in here and change that, but I can also choose down here in this grid if I want the amounts to be broken up by amount or percentage. And then I can add as many company account, sub-account combinations as I want to the grids for my debit and credits. And I'm going to scroll across so you can see the information in here. And then once I'm done, I'm going to save this prepaid. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to populate one for you. With my F3 lookup. And so once you could see here, this prepaid has been processed one time. I can see that it was processed for period 1, and then once you've processed it, you are no longer able to come up here and change any of the information. But if you have not processed it, you would be able to edit this information. Now, once you have your prepaid set up, and I'm going to go back into my Prepaid Processor, you can come in here and on a monthly basis you can say, give me this company, give me this period, and I can preview what's going to post, or I could just hit process. I can also choose to release the batches automatically, or if I don't choose that checkbox, it'll create a batch and hold. So it's nice to be able to preview the information, but also press the button and all of your prepaids that are scheduled, that should be scheduled for that period, will process and post to a batch and hold in your general ledger. It keeps everything within SL. You also have some reports. You can review your prepaids period by balances, by period, current balance, and adjust a forecaster so that you can forecast your prepaids for budget purposes and things of that nature. So that's Prepaid Processor. Bring your prepaids into SL. Another great product that we have just recently renamed is our Quickfind module. We used to call this product Rainbow Search, and that is because of the colored legend at the bottom of the screen. Now, this module, if you buy Quickfind Core 4, you get your accounts payable, receivable, general ledger, and project controller modules. Then if you just buy Quickfind in general, you get all of the Quickfind modules, which is, as you can see over here on the left side, includes the 4 I just said, and then inventory, purchase, sales order, work order, and I think there's also inventory lot. So what the product has is this colored legend, as I said before. And what you can do is you could come in here and you could say, all right, give me everything over shift, and we're going to say shift greater than $5,000. And you can say, find. And it's going to go out and it's going to find everything in the system that's over $5,000. It's going to tell me, man, you have way too many lines. I'm only going to show you the first 1,000. And then you can actually drill down to an actual line item from the grid so that you don't have to leave. It'll actually bring you to that specific line item. But another really nice functionality in general ledger, accounts payable, accounts receivable, and project is you can export the data in that grid to an Excel pivot table. And that's a new functionality we added to those first Core 4 products. We will be adding them to the rest of the searches over the course of the year, but we started with those 4. So you can load everything into this grid, and then you can export it into an Excel pivot table. Now, each of the modules have different information that you can search by based on their modules. So I'm just going to open, so here's your accounts payable module, and there's specific things. You could come in here and say, give me a specific vendor with the amount of 560.15, and you can go find it. With the accounts receivable module, I like to be able to look up an invoice, and I can look up an invoice and see if it has a specific payment applied to it. So I can go out, I can find something, and I can just hit application and see the payments applied. So that's always nice, because for me, I'm always like, is that invoice paid? Did it get paid yesterday? Blah, blah, blah. And it's very easy to go right into Rainbow Search, pull it up, and see if the payment had been applied to it. So again, I will show you, I'll pull up Project Controller. The Project Controller, this gives you the ability to really search on charge entries. So that's what the Project Controller search gives you, the ability to search on charge entries. I'm going to pull up here just so you guys can see the purchase order screen for if you want to look up things for POs. And then we have the sales order screen. But again, each of the modules have the colored legend down below and gives you the ability to, that all of those search and select features give me something that contains this word or this amount or things of that nature. It's a wonderful searching tool, makes finding information in SL a lot quicker. The next product I'm going to show you is credit card import. Now, let me find it. So credit card import, it had just been renamed. So you see purchase card on your screen, but we named it credit card import so that it you have more of an idea. If you're looking, if right now you are hand keying your credit card statements line by line into SL, this product is for you. This product gives you the ability to take your credit card statement, go out to Discover, download your statement, import it into the grid, and edit it. And so what you do is in this import setup screen, you create a map for your existing credit cards. You can have 10 credit cards, you can have 1 credit card. It's as easy as choosing an item that loads all the items that you can actually, sorry, not items, the fields that you can actually import into SL would be over here, and in this middle you choose what you're matching it with. So you can say description is item description and hit match, and it creates the match over here for you. You can match everything in the grid, or you can just bring a couple fields over, whatever you choose. You do this, you save it as your specific credit card, And then you do not have to do that again unless your format for your credit card changes. Then every month you come into this grid, you pull up your map, you would say Discover card, and then you would come over here. I'm going to pull one up that's already there. But you would come over here, you would hit this button, go out and find where you've downloaded your credit card statement to. We always suggest that everybody downloads them into one place, and then you're able to just hit import file. It'll load the grid. You match your vendors in SL with your merchants in your credit card statements. You can edit the account sub-account combination over here. Oh, I scrolled a little too quickly. You have project and task that you can tag it to, an employee ID, an item description. If there's an AP reference number, it'll automatically populate. Once you've edited this whole screen, you can actually split a line if this needs to be divided out across maybe a couple projects or things like that. Once you've edited the screen, you come down here, you put period to post, check date, and period to post date. And what happens when you post to AP is when you click that button, it'll create a voucher. It'll create a voucher for every line item on the grid for you. It'll then create a dummy check paying that line item. And then it's going to create a voucher to your credit card company, either by line item or one single voucher to the credit card company if you check this box up here. So it takes that manual process that you're doing now and brings it into a grid, lets you edit it, and click a button to actually create the transactions for you. So a lot of people are using credit cards these days, and this product is very popular because they're tired of hand keying that information into the system. The next product I am going to show you is our, well, I was going to show you Voucher to Credit Card, but I'm going to have to add it back to my, I have so many products they don't always all fit at one place. So let's go and let's do GL Mover. So we have two products that we talk about, General Ledger Mover or Period Mover. They both have the same concept, but they're obviously doing two different things. In GL Mover, this product was created in case you posted something to the wrong account and sub-account combination. Now, nobody ever posts anything to the wrong place, right? You never have to move things. Well, if we all know that's not true. So if you do post something to the wrong account and sub-account, you can come in here, you can choose the wrong account sub-account combination, you put the right account sub-account combination, and then you can load the grid. If you actually know the module and batch number or the period that this transaction's in, you could load it that way. Now over here, you can reclass the GL only, or you could reclass the GL and the source document. Caveat to the source document, if you're project controller users, it will not reclass project controller. So this is not something you can use really if you want to reclass the project transactions as well. Then it's as simple as coming in here saying, yes, I want to reclass this and begin process. And it's going to move that transaction. It is not going to reverse it. It is going to move it from the old account to the new account and reclassing the source document like it was posted there in the first place. Okay? Now, the same concept is for Period Mover. Same idea, except for Period Mover, this is for people who post to the wrong period. Okay, so we are going to come in here, we're going to say this was the wrong period, this is the right period, and then you again, there's nothing there, Valerie. All right, let's try this again. This is the wrong period, and this is the right period. And load the grid. Okay, now we got something. There we go. So you can just come in here and hit yes and move, and it's going to move the transactions from the wrong period to the right period. This is a lot of times for people who make mistakes and somebody accidentally posts to 2050, 2000, you know, some far off in the future, or something really far in the past that they just accidentally posted there. Okay, these products are not to be used if you've already closed your financials for older periods, because if you go and change something that you've already reported back on, it is changing it like it was originally posted to the right either period or to the right account sub-account. So it's really meant to use in your current situation, or maybe, you know, if somebody goes and posts and you don't have a lock something like our period to post lock product, where you can lock people down and not give them the ability to post to the wrong places. If you don't have that locking functionality, you want to, in somebody's posting to older periods, you can fix it. But just keep that in mind when looking at those 2 periods. I'd like to make sure people are aware of that information. So that is GL mover and period mover, moving transactions when you post them to the wrong place. Now, the next product I'm going to talk about is our AR collections module. Now, this product is for people who are trying to do collections and are tired of either putting notes in the customer note tab in your customer maintenance screen, or tracking your collections efforts on a spreadsheet and then emailing it out to people so they can see what you're doing and that they are up to date on what's been collected and what hasn't. This gives you the ability to bring everything into one screen. Okay, now from here you can say, give me all customers with balances for this company, and then when I F3 on the customer field, I'm actually given the customers with balances, and then I can choose the customer with balances, and I would see the invoice. And let me pull up somebody who's really bad that has a lot of information. Let's see, there we go. Kim never pays her bills, obviously. So you come in here and you can, this information is loading just directly from AR. So if you have an email address in AR for this customer, it'll load in here. If not, you can add in any email address you want to this box right here. In this box over here, you're seeing the open invoices, outstanding balances for this customer. And then down here, in the bottom grid, when you click on that invoice, you're seeing the collections efforts for that specific invoice. Now, you could put a collections note in and come over here and hit update selected. And if you had multiple invoices checked here, and you came over and you hit update selected on your line item that you're entering, it would update that note for all the selected invoices. So you don't have to retype things over and over again. You can also come over here and you could view all notes for this customer, because once an invoice is paid, their notes go away from that grid. But over here you could see if that customer maybe tells you the same thing over and over again. You can also email the customer directly from the screen, which is one of my favorite functionalities, because you don't have to go save the invoice to a PDF somewhere out there, go out, attach it to my email, things of that nature. You can just select the invoices that you want to attach, and you can attach it to an email by saying select invoices, or maybe send them your statement, or send them all of their outstanding invoices. You also hit this edit button and type in a message to the person that you are emailing direct, so that you have a personalized message to them. Now, one caveat for this product is that in setup, you have to set it up for a generic email address. You want to do maybe collections at or accounting at, things of that nature. You can also, with this product, email. This is more of like your start collection process. You can come in here and pull a company ID, a customer ID, a statement cycle, or customer class, load the grid with all the invoices for those, and select the ones that you want to email out, and then go ahead and hit email. And you can, as long as there's an email address set up for all those customers, it will email all their outstanding invoices or statements, depending on what you choose over here, out for you directly. So you're not going through and saying, okay, give me, let me check, oh, this customer needs these invoices emailed out, things of that nature. So it's a nice way to start your collections efforts, and then you can follow up in a couple days using AR collections, something like that. So that's our AR collections module. And the next product I am going to talk about, and I know I'm going fast and furious, but I don't want any of you to get bored, and I want you to stay engaged, and so I'm just trying to move it along as fast as I can. The next 2 products we're going to talk about are on our vendor screen. So we're going to go into accounts payable, and we're going to go into the voucher and adjustment screen. And in the voucher and adjustment screen, we have 2 different modules that are that you can access from the screen. One is our one-time vendor module. Now, one-time vendor gives you the ability to set up a vendor called one time, and then you can choose this vendor for a one-time payment instead of having to actually create a vendor in SL. Because in SL right now you have to create a vendor ID for all your one-time vendors. Well, if you create this one-time vendor using the module, then you get this customization button, and you can actually come in here and put the information that's one time for this voucher, and this information will move along with the voucher. And this way you're not creating multiple vouchers or multiple one-time vendors in SL. Now, one-time vendor gives you the ability to do a couple other things. So you have a one-time class. You could set up a class so you can see, give me all my one-time vendors for my food class or my travel class, things like that. You can also do a one-time vendor lookup. But as you see, all these screens actually insert into your accounts payable menu. So that's one-time vendor. The second vendor-oriented product I want to talk about is our vendor multi-remit. In SL, you're only given a single remittance address for multiple vendors. With that being said, you want to go and say, I have multiple vendors or multiple remittance addresses for a single vendor. I want to be able to choose from, if I come in here and I choose a vendor, I want to be able to choose a different remittance address for this vendor for this voucher. And with the product, it gives you the ability to create different remittance addresses for a single vendor. And then you get the F3 lookup using Customization Manager from the voucher and adjustment screen, and you can choose a different remittance address for this vendor for this specific voucher you're entering. And this remittance address will travel through the process with this voucher. Now, one thing is it slightly changes how your payment selection process when going to process your payment selections. So there are some changes in the process to be able to keep the remittance addresses flowing correctly. But if one-time vendor or vendor multi-remit are items that you feel would help your business, please reach out to Synergy about them, and we can talk more in detail about how these products can work for you. Now, one product that I know it's not a laughing matter, but sometimes I find it a little funny, is our product called Terrorist Check. And Terrorist Check gives you the ability to actually go out and search your system to make sure that you are not doing business with terrorists. And you say, why would anybody have to do this? Well, a lot of companies are required by the government to make sure they are not doing business with specific people. And they have to go out to the government sites, and they're provided these lists. Well, what we've done is for the SDN list, the EPLS list, and the LEIE list, we've given you the ability to go out, download the list, bring it into SL, and then cross-check the list against some search parameters of your choice. So you can, if you only need to make sure that your vendors aren't terrorists, then you can cross-check it against just your vendors. You could cross-check it against just your customers. You could cross-check it against your entire database. And what you do is you go and you run the process, and it will provide you back what is called the bad guys report. And anybody that matches the criteria would come back in that report, and then you could go and research them further. Now, one thing about this is, depending how big of a database you have, a lot of people run this at night so that it doesn't slow your system down. Also, your similarity search. Some people have to run it against all characters. Some people choose to run it over, maybe say against the first 7 or the first 5, things of that nature. In your first couple checks, you might know or find that there are certain people that come back that have similarities but aren't on that list, so you know to skip them later on down the road. So that's our Terrorist Check product. Then last but not least, we have, I have one other credit card product that I would like to show you. Sorry about this, for some reason it did not stay on my menu. So let me just refresh and bring it up, and we're going to talk about our voucher to credit card product. Now, our voucher to credit card product is for people who are paying their bills using a credit card. Okay, now it gives you a couple of nice functionalities for if you're paying your bills using a credit card. In SL, there's no way to show that I paid this specific bill or these specific bills with my Visa or my Amex or that specific credit card. This product can give you a check identifier so that you can create a check identifier for your different credit cards, and then you'd be able to see which things you've paid with your actual Visa or American Express, things like that. It also gives you the ability, so I'm going to shut this. It gives you the ability to set this maintenance screen up, and you can add all the credit cards that you pay your bills with. Some of you will have 2, some of you will have 10. And you can say, okay, once you've set them up, and if you choose to set up your check identifiers, you can go apply these credit cards to specific vendors. Or, so I'm going to go back out to my accounts payable here, and you can come into your vendor maintenance screen, and you can say, I always pay this vendor with my specific credit card. And you can add the credit card here and make it your default, so that everything for this vendor will load if you say, give me everything that I pay with my Visa. You can also on your voucher and adjustment screen, you can tag the voucher when it's being added directly to a credit card. So that gives you that capability as well. Then you go back into the voucher and adjustment screen. No, sorry, you go back into the voucher to credit card screen, and you go to the processing screen. Now this is where, in the processing screen, you're going to be able to say, give me everything that I either pay with specific credit cards, because you have those set up and you've tagged vendors in your account. You could say, give me everything for a specific vendor. You could say, give me everything that hits this due date range. Or you can just say, give me everything. So you also come down here and you choose the credit card you are going to be making the payment to, or with. So then you come in here and just give me 1 second. You come in here and you hit load the grid, and we're going to have it load the grid. And it's going to load, and I just obviously chose load with everything, so then that way I could see everything that was out there. And from here, you can select the items that you want to pay with your credit card, and 2 things can happen. If you choose to only have the system process your SL transactions, you would then just select the items that you want, and it would create a voucher. And you could create a voucher for the sum of everything in the grid, or you could create a voucher for each individual line, depending on what you have set up in checkout in setup. However, this option down here, export to CSV, that is for people who are using banks or credit cards to actually pay their bills for them, and they have to provide them a file that has all the transactions of things that they want paid. You could actually use this product to export the transactions first, and then come in and create the transactions in SL for you. So you have those 2 options. This product could do both things for you if you're using credit cards to pay your bills and using one of those bank or credit card programs where you get like cash back and things like that, and you have to provide them a file. Now, the last product I am going to show you today is, before we open it for questions, is our fixed asset module. Now, our fixed asset module actually is our most popular product, and if you're tracking your assets in an outside asset tracking system or on a spreadsheet, this product is for you, because this product brings your fixed assets into SL for you. And what it does is it allows you to update your GL with transactions for your fixed assets automatically. It does It does location tracking for you. It works with projects. You can create your own custom tabs. I'm going to show you the actual fixed asset screen, which this is a very large screen with a lot of information, but you're able to track a lot of things about your fixed asset, as well as if you create a fixed asset from a transaction in SL within our system, it'll track all the original information here for you. It gives you the ability to run your depreciation directly from one screen. If you're using an outside system or a spreadsheet, you're hand keying or copying and pasting or transaction importing your transactions into SL. This gives you the ability to put in your asset selection and process your depreciation and post it directly to Dynamics SL. We also give you the ability within the system. One of our great bells and whistles is pulling in transactions from accounts payable, purchasing, general ledger, project controller. And you come in here, you choose the module, you choose the period, and the system goes out and looks for any transaction that posted to a fixed asset account, loads it in the grid for you, and you can do multiple things from here. You can say, yes, I want to create a new asset. You can say, I want to update an existing asset. I want to create a sub-asset. I'm going to scroll over in this grid for you so you can see some information. But you can also split this specific line item up over multiple assets, create multiple assets. Say this one line item is for 75 new desks. You could create 75 new assets without having to repeat the information, as well as you can say this item should not have been posted to a fixed asset account and put the right expense account sub information in here. And when you hit process, it'll create the transactions, moving it out of the fixed asset account and moving it into the correct sub expense and sub account for you. So this system is very, very popular. It comes with a ton of reports. Our auditor's report is one of the most powerful and most popular. But this product is for people who really need to look into doing better fixed asset tracking within Dynamics SL in the coming year. So that was a lot of stuff. With that being said, I'm going to remind everybody that we do have what Rob said is that 20% off promotion running through for Synergy customers only, running through September 15th, I believe. Now that we're giving you a month
December?
from today's. Oh, that's what I meant. What did I say? September. Man, I'm skipping. I don't want it to be Christmas yet, I guess. December 15th. And I am here to answer any questions you guys have on any of the products I showed you, or if you were flipping through the catalog while I was presenting and you saw something else in the catalog you had some questions on, feel free to go put them in the chat box, and I'd be, or not the chat box, the question pane, and I'd be happy to answer them for you.
Well, that's perfect, Valerie. The catalog reminds me of the old days before Christmas when you go through that Sears or J.C. Penney catalog and pick out your things. So your timing is good. So yeah, so anyhow, thank you, Valerie. We will now officially open it up for Q&A and answer the questions that have been submitted in the question pane. They will be addressed first. I see we have one there. You can continue to enter them in the control pane, or if you want to ask your question live, raise your hand and I will call on you and unmute you so you can speak freely. If you need to get going today, I'd like to thank you for attending today's webinar, and once you leave, you will receive a survey on the presentation, and I'd appreciate it if you would complete that and provide the feedback. 5 quick questions. If you do have questions beyond this, feel free to reach out to your account manager, either Cindy, Frank, or Donna, or if you're not sure who it is, you can always use us interchangeably and we will, get you directed accordingly, or you can send it to me, rob@synergybusiness.com. So we have a couple questions there, Valerie. Can you see them, or would you like me to read them?
No, I can see them, Julie. Yes, you can use flex billing for AR collections. So you're
able to read those so others can hear what the question is.
So Julie asked, is AR collections module have the capability to send invoices produced from flex billing in an email, or is it just only the invoices produced from AR invoice module? So it does work with flex billing. You choose the flex billing option in setup. You can put in the formats down here, and then when you're processing or emailing invoices out, you can email your flex billing invoices, and that works in the AR collections and the multi-customer printing screen. Now, I will say the setup sometimes is a little more difficult for getting your flex billing formats and things to work. I don't mean difficult, but it just isn't the standard. So you might want to add some extra time in your implementation for your flex billing formats if you have a lot of them. Now it says fixed asset product, does it offer both book tax depreciation? You can have as many different books as you want. So in our fixed assets I could do a whole webinar on. So if you would like to see a fixed asset webinar, please feel free, Teresa, to reach out to your account manager and we can do that for you. But there's also webinars on our website just on fixed assets. But the screen I'm showing you now is the book screen. You can add as many different books as you want. They can post to the actual or statistical ledger. You can apply the different books to the different classes and categories, so they automatically populate that information for you. You can have internal tax, state, AMT, all of those different things. This is unlimited here for you. For fixed assets, we use different depreciation methods for both book and tax. Can the module accommodate? Of course it can. So if you use different, where's the screen? Let me come in here. So here are all the different depreciation methods. You can apply a different depreciation method to each of the different books. We cover all the standard depreciation methods, and if the depreciation method is not in our list, you also can create your own tabular method and your own declining balance rate. And you can apply the different methods to the different books and apply those different books. You can have 3 books applied to one class and category and only 1 book applied to other classes and categories. So for you, you guys, I didn't pull up the classes and categories screen, but our fixed asset module tracks everything under the books and then applies it to a class and a category. And here, so the class is the bigger picture, the category is the more granular look at things, and then you apply your different accounts and your different books. And I'm going to scroll across here so you can see that as well, the average and conventions for each of the books, section 179, and you can also do sub-account breakdowns at both the category level as well as the individual asset level on the fixed asset screen. Other questions? These are good questions. I missed the part on GL Mover's presentation. Does the screen work with AP/AR? So for the GL Mover, I'm going to open that back up for you. This works, so you're pulling up your account, you're pulling up the account and sub-account combination in which it was posted to incorrectly. And then over here, you would reclass the source document. There we go. You would reclass the source document here, keeping in mind it won't reclass project. But if just for AP, AR, and General Ledger, you can reclass the source documents. If you know what module it was originally posted to, if that's what you're talking about, you can come over here and choose the module, choose the batch number, choose the period. Remember, with GL Mover, it is only moving the transactions from the wrong account to the right account and then resourcing the class. If you need to move it to the wrong period, you use the period mover. Other questions? These are all very good questions. Well, if nobody else has questions, again, there's some of these full webinars on the products posted on our website, but I love doing demos for customers directly and answering their questions as we walk through the product. So if there are products that you saw today or look to see in our catalog that you'd like more information about, reach out to your Synergy account managers. They all know how to get a hold of me, and we can show you products, answer questions, provide you documentation, anything you need, and please take advantage of that discount because it's the best one we have, the biggest one we have, and we normally don't have it running this long of the year, but because we didn't get to go to the SL users group this year because of Miss Irma, um, we are extending it to the Synergy customers since they're such a great partner.
Well, thank you, Valerie. And yeah, just a note on that, the user group conference has been set up for April now rather than September, and will be in St. Louis. And so if any of you are interested in that, please feel free to reach out directly to me as well. Let's see, any other questions? Anybody want to ask a live question, anything? Okay, well, Valerie, you did a great job. Not only did you get through the top 12, answer numerous questions, but we've given everybody 10 minutes back in their day because we were originally scheduled to go until 11 o'clock. So good job on that.
Thank you, thank you. It was a pleasure presenting to you guys today.
Okay, well, with that, everyone, thank you very much. Hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we look forward to continuing to take care of you and your SL accounting software. Thanks, Valerie.
Thank you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day.